Hey, it's Patricia Murphy. It's Friday, Casual Friday, and this is Seattle Now. This week, we elected a new president, and it seems we're more divided than ever. But nearly everyone can agree we're really going to miss Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. TV critic for Salon.com, Melanie McFarland and KUOW Zaki Hamid are here to break down a dramatic week. But first, let's get you caught up. Governor Inslee and his wife Trudy addressed the state last night. The governor said our situation today is just as dangerous as it was in March. COVID is spreading uncontrolled across the state, and he's got one big ask for Washingtonians.
Please do not have Thanksgiving gatherings unless you're positive that everyone there has quarantined successfully for 14 days.
The governor didn't announce any new COVID restrictions, but he said new rules are on the way. Inslee is also making headlines in the other Washington. The governor is reportedly being considered for various positions in Joe Biden's cabinet. Among them, head of the Department of Energy, the Interior, and the EPA, and a new position in the White House focused on climate change. Inslee has said he wouldn't seek a job with the new administration, but then again, he was running for president himself not so long ago. And we're in for one of the first big storms of the season. Seattle will see wind and lots of rain this weekend, so be prepared for power outages. And the first huge dump of snow in the mountains, up to 30 or 40 inches in some places. Good news for the start of ski season, but keep those chains handy and check the conditions if you're planning to drive over the passes. We're ending this week knee-deep in election drama and COVID cases, and today is Friday the 13th, which for a Murphy is a double whammy, and I'm not even kidding. I'm on super high alert all day today. Melanie McFarland is here. She's a TV critic for Salon.com. Hey, Melanie.
Hi there.
Is Friday the 13th a thing for you? Are you superstitious?
No. I mean, maybe, if I want to be superstitious, yes, highly. Imagine me throwing some salt over my shoulder right now and clinging to a horseshoe. I don't know.
Right. And Zaki Hamid is here. He's the director of community engagement at KUOW. Zaki, are you superstitious?
No, not anymore. I guess I was when I was a kid or something like that. The Friday the 13th, based on the movies maybe. But now, not really.
All right. Well, as a Murphy, I come by it all very honestly because my life is a comedy of errors and, sometimes it all comes together in the right way, and sometimes we just say that's living Murphy. Anyway, I can't believe it, but the election came and went, and yet we are still living the drama. AP declared Vice President Joe Biden the winner of the election on Saturday, nearly a week ago. Cities across the country erupted in dance parties, including Seattle. I know in my neighborhood, there were horns honking all over the North End. Zeki, what did you see?
I live in Shoreline, so there was a few fireworks going on, but it's a pretty quiet neighborhood, so not a whole lot, but, we did hear some fireworks for sure. Some people thought they were shotguns.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, all right, calm down, everybody. It's just a little fireworks, but that's where we are.
Right. Melanie, you're in West Seattle. What's the vibe out there about Biden?
The funny thing was I was online right when it was called, and I saw more kind of celebrations that were shared on Twitter, of like there's a great video of people opening their windows and you hear the sound rising up from the streets. I'm like, that sounds great. And I opened my door and all I heard was a leaf blower. I was like, well, everybody celebrates in their own way, I guess.
I guess so. President Trump still hasn't conceded, and neither has Lauren Culp, even though the results are pretty clear in both cases. And I'm not even sure what to do with this, because Trump will fight it in court. But Culp, I don't even know what this means from him. Like, what do we do with this?
Well, Culp doesn't have a job anymore. I mean, he
right.
was, so he's literally fighting for a job. Now, he's not going to get that other job, but in a way, like, and I say this very jokingly because it's actually not a joke, but I respect the hustle. You don't have a job. It's like you're saying, but here's why I'm perfect for this job. So, that is what one does. However, it also, is, I don't know anybody who's done that and said like, gone back to the potential hiring employer and said, you know what, I really deserve this job. I'm like, you know what, you do. The hiring employer has said, no, we don't want you. So I think that's with Culp, it just strikes me as silliness. But who knows? I also saw his banners in the Borat film, so it's just kind of an extension of that, I guess.
This whole thing just feels like House of Cards right now, like both nationally and here in state, but not like good House of Cards like the first season.
Right.
Like I'm talking like
like the last seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When it clearly jumped the shark and it was just completely unwatchable. Well, I feel like the rest of us just going, you know what? I just want to watch like the Great British Bake Off right now. I don't want any of this, crazy drama.
It's very hard at this point because it seems like we were waiting. And we even knew, right, it wasn't going to play out in 6 hours. It was going to take some time. But this, we weren't really banking on, I think, this kind of drama. It is fascinating, though, to see the breakdown in the vote. Seattle may be a blue bubble, but King County, I read a column this week, Trump did better this time around than he did last time. 50,000 more votes. That's 50,000 people who were like, yeah, I'm down for this for another 4 years, which, for a lot of people in Seattle was a big surprise. And Zeki, one of the things I think we noticed the most about this election was the huge divide in our country. That map was a huge indicator of, in some ways, a dream that the Democratic Party had for a long time. How do we move forward here?
Yeah, I mean, partisanship is a hell of a drug, right? And we've been ingesting this kind of drug for decades. So if you couple that with this, partisan media ecosystem, like these results are really predictable. So in terms of going forward, I think everybody just chill out for a little while because right now everybody's super tense about everything. But if we just chill out for a little while, I think, maybe some of this will start to tone down. In 2016, we all kind of rushed to understand a certain group of people, right? And we've been doing that, I think, for 4 years. But I think it should be reciprocal too, right? So if anybody wants to come and ask me about my experience and why I voted the way I did as an immigrant, as a Palestinian, as a Muslim, sure, I will answer with all the love I have in my heart. But I'm kind of done getting out of my way trying to reach out when it's not very reciprocal. We're a very divided country, and in a weird way, I'm okay with that right now.
Melanie, how are you thinking about this?
I echo a lot of those sentiments. I will say that I absolutely do not expect any of those people to reach out and understand me and my point of view. And there's actually an entire media apparatus encouraging that, that those people not to reach out. So it's, I think that it's going to be split for a long time. It's going to be split well into this next presidency. That is a Biden presidency, by the way, let us be clear. And I think right now it's early days in terms of figuring out how exactly we address this. There's so much going on beneath the surface, not just in terms of the large corporate media apparatus, like, your Fox News and, a lot of right-wing radio, but there are smaller, media amplifiers rising right now, too, that are probably going to be much more centralized as we, and become like the standard. A lot of people are going to be, retreating even further into, and that is very dangerous, and it also reinforces partisanship.
Yeah. There's a lot of heat and not a lot of light right now. For sure. Governor Jay Inslee won a third term. That's no big surprise here. But he's also being floated for a spot in Biden's cabinet as energy secretary or climate czar. During the campaign, Melanie, he said he wasn't going, and he made that promise. I wonder if the D.C. allure will be too much, though.
One never knows. I mean, the one thing about even the, politicians that we really want to trust, just in terms of their, who have lived up to their word in so many ways, if something like that comes along and say, I'll never do it, then all of a sudden, the political power equivalent of backing up the Brinks truck happens. Like, well, maybe in this instance.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I wonder how much, the hometown political machine is just going to kind of go up and just be like, please don't go, Jay. That's why I always love you, Jay. I don't know.
We did get some sad news this week. We lost an icon. Alex Trebek died of pancreatic cancer. And as the country remains polarized over the election, we can all agree Alex Trebek was a fine man, was one of the best. We just loved Jeopardy in my house. Melanie, as the TV expert, what made Alex Trebek so beloved?
I think he was always very even-handed, and he was, there were certain people who saw his kind of coolness just in terms of when people would get something wrong as smug. I never saw it as that. He was never punitive. I think he was just very calm and just be like, nope, yeah. The times when he would make a big deal about of things were just, if somebody got something wrong and it was very funny. I mean, one of the memes that's been circulating is the moment that Ken Jennings mistook, what was it? Like, this word also is a garden tool, known for somebody who engages in immoral behavior. And the correct answer was rake, and that was not what Ken Jennings said. No. And the funny thing was, Alex Trebek was like, whoa. So he was always,
whoa.
Well, exactly. It sure does. But I think, so that was really, there are these very funny and sweet, delightful moments, but he was always he was a champion of knowledge and not a snob. And knowledge is something to be prized, and it's not an elite thing. I think that's one of the things that I think Jeopardy has always been this great unifying force. It's defies partisanship because it's about basic knowledge.
Yeah, that one really hit hard when the news came. We love Jeopardy in our household, and really we've had this tradition since really COVID started, and every day at 7:00 we have dinner and we sit in front of TV, we watch Wheel of Fortune, and then we watch Jeopardy right afterwards. And our daughter, who's 7 years old, loves both shows, right? And she's really into Jeopardy now, and she's trying to answer these questions and come up with her own and stuff. So it really is. It's heartbreaking. He was just a very kind human being, and I think the world needs a lot more of kind human beings right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's our show for today. Melanie McFarland is the TV critic for Salon.com, and Zaki Hamid is the director of community engagement at KUOW. Thanks, you two.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Seattle Now is produced by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Clare McGrane, Sophie Reed, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you Monday.
Hey there, it's Dyer Oxley. I'm a web producer here at KUOW, here to tell you about our new daily newsletter, Today So Far. You see, every morning, we're going to break down the most important local news stories of the day, so far, and deliver it straight into your inbox. Today So Far will be KUOW's insight on the fast-moving news of the day. Be sure to get it in your inbox by Monday by subscribing for free at KUOW.org/newsletter.